I'm Bob Anspach. I am the chairman of the Alliance for MetroWest Unity. As you can see from your programs, that's I paid them to do that. But nevertheless, as you can see from the program, we are on our 33rd annual breakfast. 33. I started here when I was 10. And but for 33 years, we've held this breakfast at various places. We were up at the Sheraton, and we've now moved to the Verve, and may remain here. We'll see how it goes for next year. But at any point, we realized that this is a very important event to those who started, and I'll talk about that later on. But right, for the time being, why don't we just stand, please stand, and I'll ask the officers of Framingham Honor Guard to please present the colors. And now I ask Mr. Lonnie Powell if he'll please sing the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please remain standing as we have Rabbi Blumberg to present the invocation.
Jewish tradition teaches when a person stamps coins, they are all, each one of them, similar to each other. But the Creator, who is beyond all time and space, is not like us. Though the Holy One stamps all of humanity with the seal of the first human being, not a single one of us is exactly similar to another. I want you to take one moment to look around you, truly look around you, and recognize the magnificent uniqueness of each individual who shares this morning together. Let us pray that as we come together today, we might truly honor our incredible human diversity of faith, color, and creed, of background, gender, and class, of age, race, and ability. All those things that, though they may seem like difference, really unite us as one humankind, blessed in our variety. This incredible medley coming together as one, led by these youth who are our future, working together to sew the seams of this world that is so critically in need of mending. Vayhi noam Adonai Eloheinu aleinu, u'ma'aseh yadenu konena aleinu, u'ma'aseh yadenu konenehu. As we stitch and sew as one human tapestry, may God's favor be upon us. May the work of our hands prosper. Let us say, Amen.
Officers, please retire the colors. John Garrahan. John Garrahan was an individual who many years ago had a dream also. He was then the president of the Chamber of Commerce. He was also the senior member of what was to become the Legal Services Association, Legal Bar Association. We are grateful for Jack because at that time he gathered members from the community, some ministers, some teachers, some business people, some lawyers, and gathered them together and gave us a plan. He had hoped to recognize some people who were different. And first of all, he realized that the newspapers were saying a lot about students, young kids, that was in the negative. And he says, there has to be some good that's out there. And so he then developed into this community prayer breakfast, an opportunity to honor students in their respective schools who have done outstanding work in the field of diversity, equity, inclusion. In many ways, those students are here today, and we realize that some of you might have had brothers or sisters that were here before you. In those 33 years that we've been around, you can appreciate the fact that at some point I may even be seeing parents here that had students who were here. That would really bother me a lot. but nevertheless, it's all in the possibilities. The John Garrahan Breakfast has continued this way to honor students, and that's why we're here. We're honoring students. At first, we started out with only 4 schools, and then we blossomed into 15. And today we have representatives from 13 of those schools that were selected by the individuals in their school, either guidance counselors or teachers or counselors. And they submitted their names to us so that we could honor them in this special way. So with that, I'm not going to prolong my speech. I said I wouldn't be too long myself. I apologize for having to sit through some of this. I'm getting a knee replacement. How many here have had knee replacements? Let's see hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Then we'll start our own little family. So there we go. So I appreciate that, and it is my honor to present to you our next speaker. And that is, it's my honor because I had her as a student. I taught at Marion High School for a zillion years. And also the fact that she is the daughter of John P. Garrahan. So we're happy to present to you Catherine Garrahan.
32 years ago this week, the Alliance for MetroWest Unity invited the community for the first time to celebrate student leaders in diversity and welcome their families, friends, schools, and community supporters. Today, we gather to celebrate a remarkable group of young individuals, 13 MetroWest leaders in diversity, whose actions show us the strength that lies in empathy, respect, and community. We also celebrate our annual Nancy King awardee, Jewish Family Services of MetroWest. Since that inaugural event, we have had the privilege of meeting over 500 student leaders, as well as some remarkable organizations. Lindsay, Olivia, Sophia, Stephen, Arsonica, Patrice, O'Hara, Lucas, Daniel, Isaac, Sandra, Osiris, and Jules. Each of you, in your own way, has chosen to lead with kindness, whether by welcoming someone who felt out of place, standing up for a peer, celebrating differences, creating a new program, stepping up to a formal leadership role, public speaking, or simply being a consistent example of compassion. You have shown what it means to live the values of this award and what it was intended to celebrate. To each of you, we extend a warm welcome and express our deep pride in your achievements. As you stand on the cusp of completing your high school education and stepping into adulthood, you know that you have already made a significant transformation within your schools and communities. Though you attend different MetroWest high schools, you are united by your dedication to treating others with respect and dignity and paving the ways for others to do the same. Your leadership has not gone unnoticed. You were nominated by your schools for the impactful ways in which you make the world a safer and more inclusive place. Your efforts are crucial in our world today. Allow me to highlight just a few examples of ways you lead others. Patrice and Jules, you each are bridge builders, modeling for others authentic communications and behaviors in ways that heal and help others to grow. Sophia, Sandra, and Harsonica, you have used dialogue and opportunities to learn about other identities and cultures to increase people's understanding of each other and reduce discrimination with a profound impact on your school and beyond. Olivia, Stephen, Daniel, Osiris, and O'Hara, you have each taken on formal leadership roles, seeking and accepting responsibilities and deepening your skills to help others be included and build their futures and reduce discrimination and bullying. Isaac, you have an energetic and entrepreneurial approach to changing the world. And Lindsay and Lucas, your dedication to guiding the next generation towards opportunities on and off the athletic field or the chessboard gives confidence, joy, and community, opening the future to others in many ways. All of your achievements are powerful, and all of you have achieved results. Your work has led to changes in classrooms and playing fields, policies, communications, friendships, and individual feelings of self-worth. You have shifted your environments towards greater opportunities for belonging and understanding. In a world that often divides, you have chosen to connect, and that choice deserves recognition, not just for the moment we're in, but for the future you are helping to build. So to each of our 13 awardees, we honor your courage, your consistency, and your heart. You are the kind of leaders we need. As all of you here today peruse the program books at your tables, you will find more detailed accounts of each honoree's story of leadership, and later this morning you will hear from them directly. Let us also take a moment to recognize and congratulate the parents, guardians, teachers, counselors, and school staff of our awardees for their invaluable support and encouragement. My father, John Garrahan's legacy of compassion and inclusivity continues to inspire me. He would have been honored to meet each of you and would have embraced the opportunity to learn from your experiences. His spirit, along with that of our beloved other former founding members, is here as we celebrate your achievements. The current steering committee for this event is a hard-working group who I'm honored to work with. Their names appear in your programs, and I invite them to briefly stand to be recognized and thanked. And also a thank you to our sponsors and to each of you here today. On behalf of us all, congratulations to our awardees. Keep leading and never underestimate the power of being inclusive. I now invite Attorney Betsy Soule, who serves as Executive Director of MetroWest Legal Services, and to come to the podium to present the 2025 Nancy King Award.
This year, I am pleased to present the 2025 Nancy King Award to Jewish Family Services of MetroWest. The Nancy King Award was established in 2009 in memory of one of the original members of the Alliance for MetroWest Unity, Breakfast Steering Committee. Nancy served as the Executive Director at MetroWest Legal Services for 31 years until her passing in 2007. Nancy embodied the values of the Alliance for MetroWest Unity, this breakfast, and all the students being honored here today. She dedicated her professional life to equal access to justice for those unable to afford it. She loved hearing the students' speeches and was moved by their accomplishments, as I know she would be if she were here today. This year's recipient, Jewish Family Services of MetroWest, provides services to over 8,000 people in need in MetroWest and Greater Boston each year, with a focus on nutrition and basic needs assistance for struggling families, programs that support the needs of low-income and first-generation students so they can thrive, citizenship, immigrant, and resettlement programs, and geriatric care management and other support services that enable vulnerable older adults to live independently. Guided by the Jewish tradition of social responsibility and compassion, Jewish Family Services is dedicated to supporting people of all ages and backgrounds, treating people with dignity and compassion, helping people achieve and sustain healthy lives and independence, providing culturally competent services, and collaborating with community partners to broaden their impacts. Jewish Family Services runs a multitude of programs serving diverse populations, including immigrants, those in the LGBTQ community, seniors, and families in need. Jewish Family Services partners with many community organizations throughout MetroWest, and at MetroWest Legal Services, we have had the pleasure of working together over the past 2 years, supporting immigrants sheltered in motels in MetroWest with resettlement and legal services. Here to accept the 2025 Nancy King Award is JFS's Executive Director and CEO, Lino Covarrubias, and I invite you up to receive the award. Congratulations.
Betsy said I could say a few words. I just want to say thank you for this recognition. I think for all of our partners are here. These are really trying times for all of us. And I can't think of a better word, unity, because together that's the only way we're going to be able to fight all the injustice that is occurring and will occur. And one more thing I'll say is when I'm asked, what do you need? I said, we need more lawyers. We need more attorneys to help us, because our justice system, unfortunately, the only way you can have access to it is with proper representation. Thank you so much.
I'm here for comic relief. You understand that? I haven't heard much laughter coming out of anybody yet, but that's all right. The reality is, my tie is see, every year, different tie. Those of you that have been here before, you've never seen this tie before, but those of you for the first time, I wear the gaudiest ties that I can find. And so here it is. It's there. It's on. I made it. Okay, now we're coming to the highlight of our presentations today, as you know. Before we do, I'd ask that all the students who are the recipients of the awards to please go out into the hallway and meet with Howard. He is going to line you up for the presentations. So if you don't mind getting out there, and he'll guide you. It's also a time for me to give a little plug, as was mentioned earlier. The sponsors for this organization, or our alliance, are listed on the back. These are contributors, people who have donated tables, because as you know, to have a table of 10 or 8 or whatever it might be for the students and their family and teachers costs money. And so with that, we have to get sponsors who are willing to sponsor a table for those students. And so we have 13 tables. We needed 13 people, 13 sponsors, and they have done that, have come across and been very faithful with us. Some of these people have been sponsors since the very beginning of this program. So it's a real tribute to them, and we appreciate it. But we also realize that we have students from 13 communities, and as you can see from the program, they run from Algonquin over towards Algonquin Regional, all the way over to Natick, and all the way to Lincoln Sudbury, and all the way over to Hopkinton and Holliston. So what happens is we'd like to get more sponsors. And if some of you parents out there know of your work for a company that is willing to sponsor a table for next year, we are coming back. So The reality is if you haven't been contacted, we'd be more than happy to contact you and submit for that next year. Please remember that, and that we're trying to get our sponsor increase, because we're also hoping to have 15 schools next year, not just 13. Secondly, along with this, we have some changes in the program, and they'll come up as we go along. One of them was that we usually had a judge make one of the presentations. And we know the passing of Judge Greco, and went to Judge Cunis, and then it went to Judge Fabry. We've had various judges come up here, and have all had one thing in common. They love to come to this breakfast because they see before them students that reflect the real goodness of life, whereas many of them face students in their courtrooms that have maybe taken an alternative path. And so they said, it's nice to be here with you kids. So with that, I say thank you also for being with us. Now, the awards as we know it today, there are things that are going to be on the placard. I'm going to invite the representatives, the representative from the state representative, Jack Lewis, to come forward. I'd like to ask Lieutenant Chad Howard from Natick Police, and he's taking the place of Sean Riley, who had to go to Framingham State University for an activity they've got going on up there. And then also to have Jeffrey Coleman from Framingham State University to please come forward. And as they come forward, I just ask you to understand that what you get when you see the awards on the table, take a look at them. They got a plaque that's been given to them. There's going to be citations from the House and the Senate. There'll also be an opportunity to go to Framingham State University with some tuition assistance. And with that, there's also a little plate that goes on a plaque that should be in your school, a plate that says you've won the award this year. So there should be a plaque in your school. Look for it if you don't see it. Find out where it may be, and then you'll find your name on it. So I have an envelope with that plate on there. So with that, I'd ask Representative Lewis, please come forward.
I'm always happy to fill in for someone. As he said, my name is Jack Lewis. I'm a state representative from Framingham, one of the state reps just over the border there, and also the state rep from Ashland. But today I wanted to bring greetings from all of my colleagues in the legislature, in the House and Senate. Over the last couple of weeks, I was able to run around the State House with my staff, making sure I got citations from your state reps. And so as the students get them later, or you as their family members or teacher, just remember that our staffs are human, and I am certainly human. And so if there are any typos, or if there are ways you'd rather things be phrased, or if we use the wrong name entirely, you just let us know. We will happily go through the process of getting you the correct citation, because today is your special day, and don't let our humanity get in the way of that. To students, congratulations. As previous speakers have said, you are the future, but also, as previous speakers have said, you are already the leaders of today. And you have said that there hasn't been enough joy in the room and not enough laughter. So I won't say too much about what it means that, as I think the previous speaker said, in a world that is very much, you are connecting people. And I hope you continue to do that, not only at your high school, but whatever you do next for the rest of your lives. You made a joke in the beginning that you have known siblings that have got the award, and that you hope no one tells you that one day it'll be a child of someone who got that award. I won't tell you who, but today is that day. And it may have been years prior as well, but today I at least know that's happening. Couple other quick things before I call up your names, going through my notes here. It's been an honor to read your bios and your backgrounds in the program book. I have another event I have to get to in Burlington in 20 minutes. And so if you see me run out, it's not just because I'm that kind of elected official, but I will be watching your comments later on Access Framingham and looking forward to that. So without further ado, I'm gonna welcome the students one by one. I invite you to come forward, get your citations from these fine folks so that we all can congratulate you. First, we have from Algonquin Regional High School, Lindsay Brown. From Ashland High School, Sophia Silva. From Dover Sherburne High School, Olivia Ria. From Framingham High School, Stephen Montague. From Holliston High School, Harsanika Bindra. From Hopkinton High School, but not here, I believe, we have Patrice Petit Frere. From Keefe Tech, also not here, I believe, we have O'Hara Anel Kristni Senatus. Is there someone here from Keefe Tech or Hopkinton that will be able to receive their? We'll make sure it gets to them. Okay. From the Learning Center for the Deaf, Lucas Krukowski. From Lincoln Sudbury High School, Daniel Leons. From Marlborough High School, Isaac Lattis. From Natick High School, Sandra Kintu. From Walnut Hill School for the Arts, Osiris McCormick. And from Wayland High School, Jules Eggers. Please join me in a round of applause for all of the students.
All right. Well, I'm back here, over here. Thanks. Now, you guys don't go anywhere. Don't you students go anywhere. Better call you up one by one, if you don't mind. As you know, this is the highlight if you want. We used to have a guest speaker that would come, going way back. Some of you would know the late Ron Burton came and spoke here. We've had others who were news broadcasters. We've had people here that were just noted individuals in the community. And we've had great success. But after a couple of times where we would pick a student from the group, we came to a conclusion, why don't we have the students give their speech? We don't need a guest speaker to draw a crowd. The students should draw the crowd. And this year they've done that. We've asked the students if they would like to give a speech. And not everyone does. Public speaking is one of the hardest things that we all know. Well, maybe not all of us. But anyway, we know that it can be one of the hardest things. And that fact is that when we have an opportunity, let's let these kids speak for themselves. We can highlight their praises, Kathy did, and we can sing the songs of all the greatness that they've done. And the program will show you that. I hope you'll read it all. And so right now, what I'd like to do is start with the students who were willing to give a speech. Starting with Lindsay Brown from Algonquin. Lindsay?
Should I do this one? Okay. It's not really moving. Okay. Hi there. My name is Lindsay. I'm from Algonquin. Thank you I'm so honored to be winning this award and to be sharing the stage with all these wonderful students. And my message is more than just a club. This is one of the slogans of Best Buddies International, an organization that has taught me that diversity and inclusion looks like a friendship with no boundaries. My journey with Best Buddies began when my mother, an occupational therapist, brought my siblings and I to an event in 4th grade. The atmosphere that night is something I'll never forget. Students with all different abilities were laughing through the lyrics of popular songs, taking turns with the microphone, singing, dancing, and most importantly, having fun. The happiness in the room was created by one thing only, inclusivity. And right then and there, I knew I wanted to be part of an organization who valued it. Therefore, it was a no-brainer for me to join Best Buddies Club at Algonquin once I started high school. At RHS, I was blessed to be matched with my buddy, Alec Cooperstein. Him and his family are here today to join us. Being friends with Al has changed my life in more ways than both him and his family understand. He has taught me how to never stop smiling, always laugh, and after I got my driver's license, the qualities of a good driver when we went for one of our monthly Starbucks trips. But above all, Alec has shown me how to love and care for those around you that come from all paths of life. I proudly stand here today with the knowledge that my work with Best Buddies and my friendship with Alec Cooperstein has taught me what inclusivity truly looks like, and that at the end of the day, there are no limits to friendship. I leave here today and hope you all take this message with you, that friendship truly has no boundaries, and it's important to love everyone in this room together in the same way that you would love yourselves. Thank you.
From Ashland High School, Sophia Silva.
Hello, everyone. To me, diversity, equity, and inclusion is the ability of people to come together to make the world a stronger place in the face of everything limiting humanity. Throughout my life, and especially in school, I have been able to experience and understand why these things have such a needed positive impact on all of us. If we are surrounded by different types of people, the perspectives that you can learn are endless. Even the littlest things shared foster a connection between people. Something I find endearing in my own school is hearing people comment on Brazilian food. I hear in the halls or in the classrooms about how people want to try something new or how they are so glad they did. These small actions by my own classmates allow for more acceptance and inclusion of another culture in the melting pot that is the US. Gaining and rearing diverse knowledge paves the way towards being able to support one another no matter where we are at. And this knowledge is put towards actions bigger than ourselves. Just this last week, during April break, with the support of my family, I was privileged to have the opportunity to go on a school trip to Costa Rica. This trip was a scientific one, focusing on leatherback sea turtles who were laying eggs. And during this amazing trip, the reserve I was at, Pacuare, had scientists and research assistants from all over the world congregated to protect another type of diversity, biodiversity. Right alongside their fight for protecting endangered species, ones endangered by humans, I was able to experience a future as a scientist and a culture I had not learned about before. I know my entire group left the trip with new perspectives of the world around us. And these types of experiences or educational moments, regardless of how local or global, are life-changing and something that more students should be provided so we can continue to grow minds. This exchange of diversity plays a vital role in solidifying our shared humanity. I myself am a child of Brazilian immigrants, so I was already able to have multiple perspectives. My family has instilled with me the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and why it is so important to look up to these values. The elevation of diverse knowledge stems from the inclusion of so many types of people, and the actions we take from this knowledge allow us to come together and be determined to bring change. Thank you so much for this recognition and honor, and then the opportunity to experience this with other students.
Now from Holliston High School, there it is, okay, Asanika Bindra.
Good morning, everyone. I'm truly honored to receive the John P. Garrahan Leadership in Diversity Award. Thank you to the Alliance for MetroWest Unity for recognizing the efforts of young people working to build more inclusive communities. To me, diversity, equity, and inclusion mean more than just representation. They're about dignity, belonging, and justice. They're about making sure every person, regardless of background or ability, feels seen, respected, and empowered. I've been fortunate to explore these values through many different experiences. With the Dignity Project, I worked alongside passionate peers to raise awareness around social justice and amplify youth voices. In the Youth and Philanthropy program, I saw how thoughtful giving can be a more powerful tool for equity when guided by empathy and purpose. At my local Sikh Gurdwara, I teach younger students about our traditions and values, helping them feel confident in who they are and proud of their identity. And one of the most rewarding parts of my journey has been working with unified students at our town's community channel, helping to create space for everyone to share their stories and shine in front of the camera. These experiences have taught me that leadership isn't about standing in front. It's about lifting others up, especially those whose voices are often too overlooked. This award is a true honor, and it motivates me to keep doing the work, to keep listening, learning, and leading with compassion. Thank you so much.
Our next speaker is Lucas Krakowski from the Learning Center.
Hello, everybody. Good morning to you. My name is Lucas Krakowski. I was born in China. I'm really grateful to be honored for this award and recognizing my diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. And I'd like to talk about what that means to me. So previously, I went to the Rochester School for the Deaf, and I was so surprised to see different students and staff and everybody signing for the first time in my life. So at that time, I didn't know sign language, and I was able to learn it there. The use of American Sign Language is so important to me so that I was able to receive an education and share those values growing up. In high school, I really enjoy playing chess. That's something that I've really gotten into. There's a lot of diverse players in my chess club. Some Portuguese, some Brazilian, Chinese like myself, African descent. And it just shows us that we're all equal when playing chess. Being more diverse has helped me become a great leader and being really involved in the chess club. I've gone to chess tournaments, sometimes losing. I'm not always happy about that. But I just do my best. I always try to show up. I try to teach people. It doesn't matter where people are from. I have helped our other members who are of diverse backgrounds to become better chess players. So we're all there to support each other. I would really love to win the chess championship. That would be awesome. Thank you so much.
Now from Lincoln Sudbury, Daniel, I'm sorry. If I put these on, that helps too. Now I know, Daniel. You all set? Thank you, Daniel Leons.
Good morning, everyone. I want to thank everyone for this opportunity. My name is Daniel Leonce, and I'm an 11th grader at Lincoln Sudbury Regional High School. And I am a leader, a singer, and a diver. One of my favorite quotes from Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's TED Talk entitled "The Danger of a Single Story" is as follows. When we reject the single story, when we realize that there is never a single story about any place, we regain a kind of paradise. This quote resonates with me because it encapsulates the meaning behind the work I have done and continue to do surrounding diversity, equity, and inclusion. In my school's Students for Social Justice Advisory Board and Mentors in Violence Prevention groups, I'm able to lead my peers and guide them in making healthy decisions and forming stronger and closer relationships with those around them. When I sing on stage, I am not simply performing, but sharing a piece of myself and a piece of the composer with the audience. It is an opportunity for me to connect with others musically. When I am at diving practice or competing in a meet, I get to connect with my peers about their lives and a sport for which we share a very deep passion. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are about creating opportunities to connect with and share moments with others. We must be bold enough to push ourselves to reach outside our comfort zones and to have difficult conversations, not to prove a point, but to understand one another. When we realize that we have more in common than we think, we can touch the hearts of those around us and begin to work towards making every space more diverse, equitable, and inclusive. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. All right, and then our next speaker is from Marlboro High School, Isaac Lattis.
Good morning, everyone. Firstly, I'd like to thank the Alliance for MetroWest Unity for allowing me to be here. When I first got the email, I had to reread it a few times because I was genuinely in shock. Being recognized for something like diversity, equity, and inclusion hits close to home, not because I've always felt confident in leading in these areas, but because I know what it feels like when these things are in place, but I know what it feels like when they're not in place. So I feel like we should break it down specifically what each part of DEI are and what they mean when they come together to create something transformative. Diversity is about recognizing and valuing our differences, not just cultural or racial, but differences in perspective, background, and experiences. It's not about appearances, it's about honoring the people that, the experiences that people carry. See, when we take time to listen to each other, we grow, and that's what makes diversity powerful. Equity means understanding that not everyone starts in the same place and being willing to adjust so that everyone has a fair chance. And lastly, what I believe is the most important part is inclusion. It's what happens when people feel like they belong, not because they had to change, but because they are who they are and they're respected for who they are and they're welcomed. It's more than just having a seat at the table. It's knowing your presence matters and your voice is heard and your story has value. See, I care about this work because I've experienced both sides of it. I've felt what it's like to be invisible, and I felt what it's like to be seen. The shift from isolation to belonging can feel like everything and can change everything in your life. And that's what I hope to create, a space where people feel like they belong and their voices are heard. To me, leadership in DEI isn't about just having the answers. It's about asking questions, listening, and making room. It's about showing up consistently and with empathy. My faith has also reminded me that every person has worth and that we're all called to love each other without conditions. And this belief keeps me going when the work gets hard. This award doesn't feel like a finish line, but more like a checkpoint and a reminder to keep moving forward and to keep doing the quiet and consistent work of building a more compassionate and just world. Thank you for this recognition. I promise to keep showing up, not because it's easy, but because it matters. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Now from Natick High School, Sandra Kintu.
Good morning, everyone. I'm honored to be here, and I'm thankful for the recognition. I would like to thank my guidance counselor, Ms. Dalton Thomas, and Ms. Rogers for nominating me. And I would like to thank my Principal Blocker, and the superintendent for being here. I would like to thank my dad and uncle for being here to support me as well. To me, diversity means accepting unique backgrounds and experiences and perspectives each person brings to the table. It's about valuing different ways of thinking, different life stories, and different voices. Equity means understanding that not everyone starts from the same place. It isn't about giving everyone the same thing, but giving each person what they need to succeed. Inclusion means creating spaces and communities where everyone feels respected, heard, and valued, spaces where everyone feels like they belong. When we embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion, we build stronger, more connected, and better communities. Let's remember that what we do makes a difference, and we get to decide what kind of difference we want to make. Thank you.
Thank you. Wayland High School then, Jules Eggers.
I'm so happy and grateful to be a part of this incredible event. I would like to thank my mom, dad, and my sibling Marley for always being so supportive and there for me when I need them most, and for being such great caregivers. I would also like to thank my Spanish teacher, Profe Getty, for nominating me for this award. She is an amazing human being and so welcoming and supportive of who I am and what I believe in. I'm so lucky to have her as a teacher and a mentor. When I first received the news that I was chosen to accept this award, I kept thinking about the speech, thinking, what does diversity, equity, and inclusion mean to me? For a while, I wasn't really sure what I was going to say, but as I look back at what I've been a part of in my 3 years of high school, I realized that I'm so grateful to have several opportunities in Wayland to explore diversity, equity, and inclusion. GSA, or Genders and Sexualities Alliance, is a club where I feel included, heard, seen, and honored. It's a place where I can make connections with people like me and help others to understand who I am. GSA has amazing teachers like Profe Getty and Ms. Farkas who help us to reach out to others through different activities and experiences and provide a safe space for everyone. My peers appreciate me for who I am and what I believe in. WISTI, our high school theater program, is also filled with people who respect one another and help me to build my confidence both on and off the stage. I believe diversity, equity, and inclusion should be part of every class experience for high school students. It's important that we try to build a world in which we all feel included and respected for who we are, no matter our race, gender, sexual orientation, and/or religion. To sum up, it's really important for all of us to be kind to each other and to treat others how they want to be treated. It's also our responsibility to share our stories and to help educate our community and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you, Jules. Now, I'd like to present from Walnut Hill School, Cyrus McCormick.
Is this good? Hello, my name is Osiris McCormick, and I'm a junior from Walnut Hill, and I just wanted to thank my family right there and my teachers and a lot of people in my life, because I don't feel like I could have grown as much without them. And thank you so much, Will, because he's the one who basically signed me up for the award, so I wouldn't even be here without him. And thank you for being my personal cab for like a day. Thank you. But I'm not here just to thank people. I'm here to talk about another power that stories have. So, as most of you probably know in this room, stories have many powers, showing you a whole new perspective, changing how your preferences in almost like any kind of topic, being able to describe things that you may have never seen before. But I found out that there is another power that stories have. When I was 12, I used to play a fighting video game, and one of the main things was that you can make custom characters, 100 of them. And I was always into comic books, and I loved drawing them since I was 9. And I just made all my characters in the game, all 100, still had a lot more ideas. And my dad came up to me and was watching me play one day and he said, "Hey, Osiris, why do all your characters look a little similar?" And I was like, "No, you're wrong. Let me prove you." And I started to see that they did kind of look the same and that they actually looked more like the cartoons I used to watch, the comic books I used to read, and the stories I was told. That is another power that stories have. They can truly decide who you believe belongs in stories, subconsciously or consciously. So I was astonished. It was basically just that's something you don't think of. And from that day on, I decided that I want to tell stories about many kinds of people of all different backgrounds, races, personalities, because even if I don't get to see it, I at least want to know that there's gonna be a day when this world is one where no kid goes, "When's the next time I'm gonna see somebody who looks, thinks, believes, and has the same background as me and isn't just a shoo-in for a group of a big majority?" And so I just want to thank everyone here and to let you know that this speech and this award, it's not just an accomplishment or a recap of what I've done in the past, but an exception of what I want or an expectation of what I'm going to do in the future from here on out. Thank you.
All right, let's keep giving them another round of applause. These are great kids, huh? Now they're all standing behind me wondering what to do next, and I'm saying to myself, I'm not sure, but I know what I'm doing. No, you're not next, Evan. You're not next, Betsy. Oh, yeah, I know. Okay, we're happy to have with us, I mentioned just prior to the announcement of these winners, that there was also an award being given that is a tuition assistance to Framingham State University. There's a program going on right now at Framingham State University in which these kids would be missing out on, because I think it's an event that very inclusive, some activity. And but with us, we have the Framingham State University, Peter Chisholm, who is here. The board, just have him stand up and be recognized. Okay, sure.
I'm sorry, they're a little late getting here this morning. Let me present them. Okay. Lindsey Brown. Okay, congratulations. Lucas. Congratulations. Stephen. Hassan Nico. Bender.
Assisting Peter, as you know, is Jeffrey Coleman, who is the Vice President and Chief Diversity and Inclusive Officer from Framingham State.
Julian.
Thank you.
O'Hara Annabelle. I don't think she's here, I'm not sure. Daniel. Isaac. Sandra. Sophia. McCormick. On the hill. And Olivia. We're sorry they arrived here late, but they asked scholarship office for students who might enroll at the university. And I just wanted to note that one of our faculty members we invited to, she was unable to attend, but she was a recipient of this when she was a student at Keefe Tech. Came back, she accepted it, went to the university, Came back a few years later with a PhD and is a professor now.
Now we have some closing remarks going to be given by Betsy Soule from the Legal Services.
So I think it's my job to try to sum up this morning, which I think is an impossible task, quite frankly. The first year that we did this, where we had the students do all the speaking, we all just sat there afterwards and went, wow, that's amazing. And I feel that way every year now since we've been doing that and having all the recipients come up and talk about their feelings about diversity, equity, and inclusion. The things that they're doing, the differences that they're making, the courage that they have to be who they are and do the things that they're doing is really quite amazing. For some of us that are a little older, we think back to when we were in high school, and I'm not sure we were doing much of any of these sorts of things. And you look at people now, and you look at students, and their accomplishments are just breathtaking, I think, and only a real sort of preview of what's coming in their lives as adults. If they've been able to do things like this as students, as they're growing up and developing, I think that the sky's the limit for this crew here. And I expect and imagine that you will do wonderful things that are meaningful to you and meaningful to your communities and to the state and country and whatever path you decide to take. And I think it's worth giving them an amazing round of applause. Before I invite Lonnie back up, I just want a couple of housekeeping details. When we're done, if all the students could remain up here, and we're going to take some pictures of you guys as a group, so don't go anywhere. So at this point, I'd like to invite up Lonnie Powell to sing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Now he's standing to the left of me, to your right, because he needs no introduction. He knew that, and he came right up. See, doesn't need one. And certainly he doesn't, but certainly a man who has made a great impact in this community, and as a model citizen and a model leader of his church. It's great to have him with us, and he's been a member of this board for quite some time. We all go back a ways. So with that, of course, if you'd again please stand to greet Reverend Lloyd.
Indeed, thank you for coming. Thank you for taking time to be here to recognize all of these here outstanding students. And once again, to the students, congratulations for what you have done already, what you continue to do, and indeed what you shall do. I would say to you that you are bright stars in dark times and in dark places. And you have demonstrated you have the capacity and aspirations to shine and to sparkle where you are. We need that today. And the folk in this room who stand and look at you are reminded that, yes, we're in good hands. I remind you that in doing so, you stand out to say that I will not go with whatever the flavor of the month is, but instead, you stand on principles, for values, for what you believe in. And when you do that, you can't go wrong. So thank you. Thank you to your parents. Thank you for everyone who's spoken into your life. And thank you to you making a difference. We're looking for great things from you. And those great things will make for community and enrich all of our lives. So each of us, in these days that we live and work and do, continue to make a difference. Believe, yes, in values that outlast whatever the times are. Encourage these young people along their way, for they have much to do, but with your support and we as a community, it will get done. Let everybody say amen. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Reverend Lloyd. Again, also on behalf of everyone, thank you all for being here.